All right. So I get home, take a shower, and I'm moving my thing over here. And I have to listen to this fat fuck, Richard Lewis, start talking shit about some stuff. And I knew this was going to be coming, especially after last night when we just went full troll mode on the Twitter. And some of that stuff was pretty funny, I have to say. Um, what I want to emphasize here is that my original statement, recognition and recompense, was very scripted. Okay, I had a lot of people supporting me, telling me what I should say, and sort of guiding that twit longer as my official statement of remorse for this whole thing to try to salvage what was left. But after it was clear that the community was riled up behind some of these more popular individuals in the world, um, that was never going to happen. I still to this day have no fucking idea what I said that made everybody so upset on Twitter. Um, One of the biggest issues I think that happened was me stating that we were going to have exclusivity for MDL next season, which at the time was a fact. I had a meeting with the ESL guys probably, well, it was actually the next day after this whole thing blew up on Twitter. And but it was a pre-scheduled meeting. I'd scheduled it a week earlier with Miko, the one of the admins for our managers. I don't know what the hell's name would be there. For ESL, and it was regarding Pro League games that we were going to be able to cast on the 11th. So we had Pro League games scheduled for the 11th, and it was also in talks about our production company getting exclusive rights next season for MDL, because next season MDL IPs will not be open; they'll all be locked, just how European MDL is locked right now. They're going to do that to North America. We also had word that ESEA wasn't going to be covering MDL matches anymore on their channel, and it was going to be entirely casted by community casters. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what we heard. So my initial reaction to some of the stuff that was going on was about strong legs and Twitter views and how you get them in HLTV. Anybody that's been on HLTV for a while, it is a war zone in there. Like there's no doubt about it. There's heavy competition. You have to get your stream on listed first, which is a challenge in and of itself. To even get listed on HLTV, you can't just anybody can't do it. You have to get approved, and then once you're on there and you want to cast a game, you have to list your stream and you have to start before anyone else. If you come in when someone else already has like 40, 50 viewers, maybe like 5 or so minutes before the game starts, you're probably not going to get as many viewers as the guy who's already streaming. That's a fact. Okay, like maybe there's some popularity things with um, some of the streamers, and by that I mean like people like fucking Swag or Dazed or somebody like that who's actually covering the game in a POV. Those will generally get more viewers, and people gravitate towards them despite who's actually streaming. I have never once since we've been doing this seen a streamer or a caster come from, barely any viewers when a guy's already on there with a ton of viewers, a few hundred plus, and then come up and rise above him. I don't think it's ever happened, to be honest. If it has, I don't know. I don't think anyone can prove it, I suppose. As far as Twitch analytics go, or people were asking me about that stuff. When we on our HLTV games, we were looking at specific dates. It's like 90% of the viewers come from HLTV, and then there's the rest of the 10% are from other gambling websites, or just people that frequent our stuff. So that's how this whole debacle got started. What I initially told few that we were going to have exclusivity. That's what I understood. And in the meeting with the ESL guys, I told them that. Miko and I were going at it for a minute about what was being said. He said, obviously, there was a misunderstanding. There is exclusivity to the extent if you claim the game on the ESL Discord, then you have it as long as it's the only language, right? So if an English streamer says, "Hey, I'm casting the Torque GX game," the other guy's kind of having a gentleman's agreement not to do it. And all this arose when I first came in. That was established, right? And we put our stream up on HLDV for a specific game, and Karen went against the agreement And that's when I initially contacted him. And if Richard Lewis would have bothered to have shown you the tweets, I was like, hey, are you going to go against this gentleman agreement here? And he says, no. And I said, okay, so you're gonna break the agreement just to be a douchebag and try to promote yourself. He says, yeah, basically. So he was being a dick right on back. I never threatened the dude. And I was like, okay, whatever. And I said, if it's a war, we'll win, right? Obviously, we didn't, but um, at the time that was the case. So I wrote a letter to all the ESL admins, and I stated, look, if you guys don't have any kind of quality control about who's casting these games, and it's based on these gentleman agreements that, when broken by the other ESL MSN partners, you guys don't do anything about it. Maybe there should be some reprimands for it, such as punishment points if you do some stupid stuff. It went over their heads. No one ever got back to me because who the fuck am I to tell ESL how to run their business, right? When a bunch of 16-year-olds seem to be doing it just fine. So that's how that all got started. Commenting on few again, it was what I understood at the time. It was what was going to be negotiated in a meeting that was set up weeks prior about us getting exclusivity since ESEA wouldn't be covering the matches anymore. We wanted to be the broadcast team to cover those. And you fucking people out there might not like me, right? But a lot of you do. I've got a ton of support, man. Way more people have said, I wish this sucks for you. I wish this wouldn't have happened than people who have been shitting on me. It's like the same fucking 20 people in Twitter and Reddit talking shit. Um, so, uh, anyway, and those people talking shit, former volunteers here. I'll go down the list and tell you where he's getting his sources from. The guy who said he never got paid, he was owed so much money, and he eventually just gave up. The dude's name is Seifel. There you go, Seifel. You wanted to remain anonymous. Well, too bad, dude. You're not anonymous anymore. This guy was a staff member here. Did a lot of shit for us, for real, for free. We kind of had an agreement in season 24, maybe, of that we were going to kind of divvy up everything 3 ways. They might have been 4 ways at the time because Quiet was there doing some stuff for it as well. He decided just to completely abandon us at the drop of a hat and work for free 12 hours a day observing PUBG games. He had told us multiple occasions, don't worry about anything, good luck, have fun, take me off the staff page, take me out of the rank of staff on Discord. I don't want anything to do with this anymore. Putting all my attention on a PUBG. Okay, so this is all volunteer based stuff. I'm not going to reward people with the limited amount of money we made on this thing who just abandoned us, right? Um, so that was that. Quiet. The kid's like 14 years old. Again, this is not a very unstructured thing, okay? Like, I can't tell these people you have to do this and you have to do that. I strongly suggested, I suppose, but we'd have meetings and Quiet would never show up. In the beginning he did, and then slowly started to grow where he came up with excuses after excuses why he couldn't be there. Yeah, he suffered some tragedies. He told us his grandmother died, his grandfather died. He got in his car accident. And all this happening within like 2 weeks. So very traumatic experience for him, I'm sure. Didn't want to put a lot of pressure on him. So I suggested, hey, why don't you take a step back from a quote staff role and just work as more an administrative aspect? He wrote all these, nonsensical legal documents for us all the time. So we're like, we'll just pay you for that stuff. No pressure. You're always busy, you always have stuff going on. And he freaked the fuck out on me, called me all this bullshit, whatever, and then we banned him from the server. That was the extent of that with Quiet. And now he's, looking for his retribution by trying to sabotage us by leaking some of the information, like this investment contract. If Richard Lewis would have actually read it on the YouTube for any of you to listen to, uh, it clearly states there that we don't have to pay anybody back, first of all. Second of all, it wasn't a loan and it wasn't an actual investment. I didn't want the money. These guys wanted more money. I didn't want to take any money from this guy. He seemed like a genuine dude, but there wasn't a lot of profitability in CSGM, even at the time, even now, really. So I didn't want to take on a large investor and not be able to pay him back. So what we did, if you read that contract, I don't know if you can see it if you pause the video or if you still got the link. It was actually being held in escrow. So he put up $1,000 in escrow. And per the contract, when we needed some of that money out of the escrow account, we would have to give them a submission on what we needed it for, what we were going to use it for, et cetera, et cetera. Um, they didn't technically have the right to refuse that, but the they could, I suppose. I don't remember how it was worded. At the end of the day, we only took $120 out of that $1,000 in escrow. So as far as I know, $880, is that the right math? Is still sitting in there right now. I haven't talked to the guy because we haven't made any return. You understand? There's no profit here. Um, and it was it was a 1-year contract. It wasn't a 3-month contract like old smart man Richard Lewis said. This guy's leading you down a path. He's trying to convince you to believe things in a certain manner by not revealing the truth. And that's why this is some bullshit journalism. He calls himself a journalist and he's getting his information from disgruntled drug addict fucking 14-year-olds and terrible casters and people who feel victimized because we were starting a monopoly that people were getting frightened of. We had a massive casting team here. 99% of the guys that we had come through here were absolutely fantastic. Some of the guys were obviously on different levels when it comes to casting, sure. But they all were here, donating their time to help CSGM grow as a brand. These guys had nothing to do with any of this bullshit going on. There was plenty of other casters casting for this company, not just me. For the whole community to turn on this thing is completely ridiculous. And point me out a single caster that I didn't pay. I'll wait. It's not going to fucking happen because we paid everybody. We actually kept records of all of our payments to the people. And they weren't technically payments, they were donations. I was under no obligation to pay these guys any amount of money. But I told them if they did certain things for me, I'd give them some cash. If you looked at the website and you saw him post our pricing packages, and he talks about how casters get these are amateur casters casting for very low tier teams, getting paid $7 a map. A lot of you people might think, oh, it's a waste of fucking time. But even as you start going up, it doesn't increase much more from that. Okay. 15, 20, $25 per map. Maybe if you're really fucking good, right? Like when I did the Fragadelphia stuff, like I was getting $15 a map. Topical was getting $15 a map. Probably Blue and Mazer were getting $15 a map. Okay. After you progress past that, which Blue and Topical and those guys did, you're probably upwards of 25 to maybe $50 a map, but probably not. And then once you get to LAN events, you get a flat rate to cover all the stuff. Okay, so these people had a long way to go before they got to that point. Okay, and that's what this whole platform was trying to do. You talk about why we even take a percentage. You look at the gold package, our vastly most popular package that he talks as a terrible business model. Um, the simple fact is teams have the right to choose to have their games casted by 2 casters and 1 professional observer. Okay, the problem with just having one guy on GoTV, right, or even one caster who's running the camera himself is you're not going to get a lot of the kills. Chaz and the Sharp and even Seifel when he worked here and Sap and some of these guys who were doing the observing for us had a very high kill rate capture. And that's important, okay? It's important because it wasn't just for the viewing experience. So you're not stuck on dead bodies. You're not watching the guy that constantly gets killed at all the time. You're actually camera's moving to the guy who is getting the kill. It helps teams see what's happening because these teams rewatch these VODs. These teams rewatch these over and over and over again. And throughout the years, that is the number one um, point of support that I've gotten, right? Outside of the community and people who like the casting was the teams. Okay. When you have 2 independent individuals observing a game that you're participating in, they can see things differently real time that you and your team, your IGL, can benefit from. Some of the stuff might be ridiculous and pretty apparent. Oh, he's going here, he's going here. And some of our casters and analysts weren't that advanced in what was actually happening in the round. But a couple of guys were fucking amazing. Um, I don't even know if I want to name any names because people are trying to distance themselves from us. But there's some guys here that are very good analysts. And they could give insight to stuff. And teams would come to us, be like, dude, we never thought about running our strat that way. We never thought about holding this angle instead of this one when we were in post plant position. And this is the shit that casters were saying during the cast. Okay. So they benefited from this stuff in more ways than just getting their brand promoted. All right. So as far as a stupid business model, you're a fucking stupid business model. Okay. I don't think you should be allowed on the internet. I don't think you should be allowed to walk out fucking side, you fat piece of shit. And as far as, some of the other stuff that was said on streams, listen, despite what you people have formed an opinion on me, okay, the individuals who listen to me cast over the years have found something very, I guess, specific in my casting style. I interact with chat, I fuck around, I go off topic, okay? But I'm completely aware of everything I'm saying at all times. He brings up that abortion clip, okay? And that abortion clip is actually it's in bad taste, I suppose, but it's to try to provoke a point. And keep in mind, this abortion clip was over 2 years ago, and it was in a casting format where we had three guys in there. One guy was watching TV, one guy was smoking a joint. It wasn't professional. We weren't getting paid. This was a tournament a league that I was running by hand, by myself, for fucking 10 weeks with 30 teams in it. Okay, so it was very stressful, and this was a way for us to vent and have fun. The abortion comment was taken out of context because what generally happens is the people in chat at that time would ask me crazy questions about politics or whatever, and I would come back with some ridiculous, satirical statement. Some of them were true, some of them weren't true, but I would intentionally provoke the chat to keep them engaged and active, and it worked. And we made more money at CSGM back when I was doing that bullshit from donations and skin donations, cash donations and skin donations than we have now, hands down. At the end of the day, right now, after I pay off Chaz, after I pay off our investors, after I pay off a couple of the casters who are still owed money, at the end of season 26, we're going to walk away with about $400 each. Okay? That's it. Is that worth this much fucking bullshit? Hell no. But we did it for fun. We did it to help the casters out. So it's, again, the abortion comment, basically what I would state is, and I've done this many times in conversations with people who support abortion, is I'll say something is totally fantastic and fucked up, is that I support abortion, and they're like, oh really, yeah, well that's good, and I'll say yeah, because it gets rid of 80% of or 80% of the people that have abortions are minorities, and it takes them aback. Maybe it's bad logic, right? But I put that in their face because me personally, I don't believe in fucking abortion. I think it's fucked up. Okay, I don't think it should be a choice, right? You shouldn't have sex if you don't want to get pregnant. Period. Okay, and don't give me rape statistics or incest statistics because that is so minuscule and minute that is a non-issue. Okay, we're talking about girls that go out to a party, get drunk, bang some dudes, get pregnant, and the guy doesn't call them back the next day, and she feels guilty about it, and then has an abortion 8 weeks later. Like that's messed up. All right. That's my stance on it. I don't care what anybody says. But I say things like, "Oh, I support abortion because 80% of the people that have abortions are minorities," because it makes people that support abortion question why they support abortion. And when they come back at me, like the guy in chat, I was anticipating him coming back at me in chat. I remember this cast, but he never did. I was kind of like staring at the chat, waiting for him to say it. And I usually come back with something like, "Oh, so you support the destruction of the minorities in the United States?" And then they're usually just like whatever. And again, it's fucked up logic. It's probably out of taste and inappropriate to talk about for sure. But it's not like I'm advocating systemic racism and a eugenics program. I'm not advocating the destruction of a particular race in particular. I'm stating that 80% of the abortions that are had, I don't even know if it's a real fucking thing. I just make it up the percentage, are by minorities. And it makes people question abortion. Like, holy shit, that's fucked up. Maybe we should do something about it then. Why is abortion specifically targeted at minorities? And if so, is that why it's still legal? Maybe there's a different thought process here I can have on that. I don't know. So I mean, that's where I stood on that thing, and it wasn't a racist for the intent to be fucking racist. Um, the people that have been through here at CSGM, all the people, all the casters that are disgruntled, talking to Richard Lewis, giving him tidbits, are all people that basically backstabbed us. They're very small minority of the casters that were here backstabbed us. Large portion of them didn't say shit, and that was probably good, just to kind of stay out of the whole thing. A couple people did speak up on our behalf, which I thought was nice, considering that we've never intentionally wronged any of these guys. The ones that are pissed off, Quiet, he was never a caster. Well, I guess he did cast, but he was a little shit, little punk liberal kid who, 16 years old or however, every single thing he said and did was perfect and correct, and a drug abuser and just lazy overall, to be honest. And I didn't want any part of that. Again, this is all volunteer work here, so why am I going to suffer through that nonsense when I can just tell him to go away? The other guys that were here, like Rack, you know, I feel bad for Rack. I really did, because I saw him on Reddit. I found him on Reddit, just like I do a lot of the guys here, and contacted him, got him casting some games, and we were trying to do the CSGM Academy, which was a thing where we kind of go through basic talking points during a cast. And this is absolutely do as I say, not as I do, because I am a fucking retarded caster. Okay, I've been on front page of Reddit more times than any of these guys, and not a single time that I was on the front page of Reddit for my fucking Anakin did nothing wrong statement, to the cheating scandal, to some of the other fucking crazy stuff they're talking about, Steel and Dazed and all these guys, all these reasons why I've been on the front page of Reddit, right? None of it was because of my excellent casting style at that particular moment. It was about some fluke sequence of events that happened in the stream. Okay. Pretty much anybody else that would have been covering that exact thing at the exact moment in time would have been on front page Reddit as well. Ironically, none of these other guys seem to be on the front page of Reddit but me. I don't know what it is, but whatever. Rack, I tried to help him out. I really did. I casted with him a few times. We put him through, some steps. I told him to be more aggressive and outspoken and get more excited, because he was getting shit on for being like too excited. And then he came in here, started casting games, and he was like really meek and passive and breathing after every word he said. It was fucking exhausting. And a lot of the guys here did not want to cast with him anymore, because he wouldn't shut up. He didn't know what the hell he was talking about. And it was frustrating to figure out when to lead in on him. Casting's like playing tennis, right? A lot of back and forth. It's a dance more than anything, really. You have to know when your partner's going to lead and when he's going to fall off for you to cover that dead air time. It's very tricky, and some people get it right away. Some people don't get it at all, and he's one of the people that didn't get it. So we stuck him on solo games all the time, bronze package games all the time. I think there was one client that said they liked him or whatever. So we were like, fucking thank God. Just stick him with that guy for the rest of the season. Stick him with that client for the rest of the season. We don't have to worry about him anymore. We don't have to worry about any of the other clients complaining. We don't have to worry about any of the casters complaining. So that was a godsend. The other guy who was bitching about this stuff, Greatness, the worst caster I have ever heard in my entire fucking life. Okay? Terrible. And I'm not talking about terrible like me terrible, right? I'm not talking about like Seaside terrible. And I'm not saying Seaside's terrible. I'm saying someone who goes off topic and fucks around and engages with the chat and has fun, with the chat. Like, a lot of people think that's terrible. That's what I do. Seaside's like that as well. Sadakist seems to be the only one who's found a balance of that. He doesn't interact with chat, but he does go off topic. But anyway, Gray is just fucking terrible, man. He just sucked. And we had a talent channel, and we would have posts in there talking to people about this or that. And we'd have meetings with these guys, try to influence, see what games are in their availability is, et cetera, et cetera. And he wouldn't respond. He was gone for like 3 weeks or something. He didn't respond to any of our stuff. We were trying to get him on games, didn't respond, so we got rid of him. Took another 2 weeks for him to come and realize that he'd been kicked out of the talent channel, and starts freaking out what the hell's going on. So Quiet, his bed bunny now, starts going off the handle with these legal fucking bullshit about slander and all this stuff. We're like, Quiet, dude, just fucking let it go. And he would not shut the fuck up about it. He was trying to do cease and desist letters, and there was this whole big fucking thing, and it just blew up for no reason. So both, that's the reason why both those guys are pretty disgruntled with us. The Dreamboat thing, Dreamboat making that comment about the Las Vegas shooting. We lost 2 clients because of that. Literally wrote us a whole big thing on Twitter. This is the kind of practice your company endorses. We don't want anything to do with it, whatever. And I'm pretty, like, as someone who considers himself comedic value, right? Like, I think nothing is too serious for me to joke about, right? As long as I'm in a room with other people who are feeling the same way, obviously. But that was pretty fucked up, right? Like, it just happened, you know what I mean? And he was literally dumping that out there just to meme it out, just to be, fucking edgy. And it was extraordinarily inappropriate, and it cost us 2 clients. And he was scheduled for a game after that. He casted the game, and then all this stuff blew up. But we were, I don't know. I don't know if I would have got rid of him, I guess, but no, he turned on us too. I think his comment about that was pretty fucked up. But all these guys have been paid. I pay every one of these fucking casters, every single one of them, even though I'm not legally obligated to. Think about it, folks. $30 for a package that has 2 casters. Professional, right? They're trying their best. It's not their fault. They're working their way up. Not everybody's a fucking god mode caster the first fucking year of them working in this industry. So, Richard Lewis, fuck you for talking shit about my guys, okay? Because they're out there busting their ass, doing what they love, trying to improve themselves. What the fuck are you doing? You spend 45 minutes reading fucking Twitter quotes, you piece of shit. Talking about fucking garbage you know nothing about, misrepresenting every single fucking thing you said just to get some views. Frankly, I don't care if this video has any fucking views. I hope that the people who actually end up watching this video can see the light on some things. I'm not looking for fame. I've never looked to be fucking famous. Okay? It's never been about me. In the moment, it is about me, right? Like when I'm casting that game, yes, it is the Izan show. And that's why some of the casters didn't like casting with me specifically, because they felt overran and overpowered and bulldozed. And that's how I did. That's what I did. And that's why these other organizations that wanted me to cast for them wanted me to cast for them, because of my aggressive tendencies. I'm not a fucking color guy. I'm not an analyst. I don't know shit about Counter-Strike. But I can make exciting moments very fucking exciting. I'm articulate and I can say words very fucking rapidly without stumbling over myself. Okay? Provides for an entertaining fucking content. That's all. I'm an entertainer at the end of the day. That's all I give a shit about. But I never cared about being famous. And all this criminal history stuff that he brought up, I knew he was going to bring it up. I brought it up in my fucking statement. I told the ESL guys about my criminal history. You know what? Fuck you, dude. You choked some little skinny kid at a LAN, you fucking punk bitch. Who the fuck do you think you are talking to me about fucking, oh, he's a criminal, this person shouldn't be allowed in this? Yeah, I'm an aggressive person. It's just my tendency, okay? But I'm loyal and I'm trustworthy, right? And I'm admirable. You might not think so, but I never fucked over anyone that didn't have them coming to him. Yeah, I had a criminal past. It was a long time ago. When that shit happened, when I was in prison, it was before 90% of you watching this fucking video or reading these tweets and engaging yourself on Reddit were even fucking born. Okay? It was a goddamn lifetime ago. I haven't caught a case since 2009, and that was a misdemeanor. Before that, I hadn't caught a case since 2001. Okay? So it was a serious length of time between any of these incidents. So don't come over here trying to fucking judge me on my criminal past, dude. Because it's already affected me enough in my normal everyday life to have it be outed out here. I really wish you would have read that court case on stream. That would have been funny. You talk shit about like me as a person being violent and aggressive. I'm not violent and I'm aggressive, but I'm not violent anymore. I'm old, dude. And my birthday was November 5th. I just turned 39 years old. So maybe this is a fucking, a godsend, all this stuff happening. But it's not me anymore, dude. Stop bringing that bullshit up. I hope this thing goes to bed for sure. Again, the investor situation, that's really none of your business. It wasn't any of Quiet's business, and I don't know why that he brought any of that stuff up. Profit margin in this company are absolutely minimal. Like I said, at the end of the day, we're probably only going to get about $400 each between me and the other guys here. And again, you said we casted platinum packages for $55 a map. We haven't casted a single fucking platinum game, not one. You know why? Because we talked them out of it all the time. Because it required 5 people to cast the game, an observer, 2 casters, and 2 analysts. Okay, to separate themselves during pauses or halftime, pregame, postgame. There's a lot of shit to do, man, and we didn't want to do it. Gold package was good. We paid each guy $7, right? So 7, 7, and 7, and then we kept the rest, which is a $9 profit for CSGM. You ask why we should make money off this fucking thing. We generated the contacts. These casters could literally send us an email, a fucking demo video of them casting, and we're like, here you go. Cast some games, make some money, get your fucking name out there. We're providing a service on both ends. Entertainment for the teams, insightful casts, product placement, product exposing, I guess, and for the casters, a platform to grow themselves off of and get people to notice them and hear them and to make some fucking money while doing it, dude. So fuck you and saying this is a terrible business model, because it was good. And a lot of people now are going to be fucked because of it, right? We had a ton of business contacts, okay? We had all sorts of shit going on. And these individual casters, some of the guys that stuck around with us, we helped them out. We hooked them up with ESL. We hooked them up with some of our other clients, the guys that were loyal to us during all this stuff. So at least they're going to have something to do and continue their craft, so to speak. But these other guys who weren't vocal on supporting us and just kind of remained quiet, not really helping them. They're what are they going to do? They're going to do what Chaz did every day. Message fucking 8,000 different orgs to try to get them to cast their games and show them the benefits and produce VODs and talk about this and use our referral comments and all these other clients that have used our service before. As far as Chaz goes, I feel bad for him because he did so much work, man. The guy is a workhorse, and some of you people might not like him, whatever. But keep in mind this first and foremost: everything that he was arguing about or telling those kids inside the ESL Discord about exclusivity rights is because I fucking told him to say that. You understand? I told Chaz, look, we have exclusivity. I don't want these fucking guys casting our game. So him doing what he thought was best interest of the company would go out and, like an attack dog, fucking try to push the competition away. He's an aggressive businessman, but again, he was acting under my directive. The dude, he never had any conversations with these people. I know that he talked to our point of contact about exclusivity rights, but that was pretty recently, and they had told him that we didn't have it, So, now we all know the truth behind our exclusivity, and that never actually was there per se, not in an official aspect of it anyway. But Chaz is a good guy, probably one of the best observers in Counter-Strike. A lot of people don't notice an observer, and they only notice them when they do something wrong or miss kills and TT tours, et cetera, et cetera. But he's an innocent guy. He's young. He's like 17. He's got a good head on his shoulders. If any orgs out there or production companies or tournaments or leagues, because this guy's been to a ton of LANs. He's done a lot of online stuff too. If any of you have any animosity towards me, then I don't care. Okay, hate me forever. Okay, but don't blame Chaz in this deal. That kid busted his ass trying to make CSGM a successful company. If you look through our Twitter DMs, he would message like 10 to 15 clients a day and just constantly talking and trying to get things. He would message all of our clients on the money. Every single tweet in our DMs between him and it was him tweeting these guys like, hey, can we get this? Can we get paid? Or are you guys doing this match? Do you want to up this bronze package to a silver or gold? Blah 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 blah. The dude was a workhorse. He never did anything. He never did anything wrong. And like I said, all that bullshit with him talking to Kieran was all because I told him to. He didn't. He was doing what he thought was the correct thing to do for CSGM. So I'm just gonna end it at that. If anybody really has any problem with me at this point, I don't really care. I'm probably not going to cast anymore, despite a large population of people on Steam and in Discord and Twitter messaging me saying that I shouldn't give up on this ordeal. Maybe it's a good thing. I'm too old for this scene. I'm a conservative. I'm a white male. There's two genders. I don't think that abortion is okay. I think that the wall should be 500 feet high and 1,000 feet deep, electrified and bulletproof. And at the end of the day, I'm just not cut out for the Twitter world. I don't understand the hug box mentality, the herd mentality. I don't get it. I really don't. I'm from the time where you say what you do and you do what you say. And, for all these people out there that were threatening me and doing all this other stuff, just it's an internet beef, man. It ain't real. Real fighting, real, you know, chances of people getting killed for real. Like that's a totally different thing. That isn't this. This is just internet nonsense, right? So I'll just leave it at that. Um, Richard Lewis, you did a great job. At the end of the day, a little tiny company that no one knew existed is now once again on the front page of Reddit being talked about in the hearts of minds of thousands and thousands and thousands of people. And I hope that maybe someone out there with as much time and dedication as Chaz and myself can make a new company with the exact same business model as this one. Try to figure out how to get these teams to pay more money. I don't know, but good luck to you. That's it. If you see me again, it will be a fluke. I don't know. I might be down south soon. Bye.